almost feel like Gordon Bombay would have taken his career to even further heights.
Everything's flashy, everything's cocaine, everything's
Fun.
Open wide for some soccer!
I don't care what your personal thoughts are at home. I care that you hate the
Call
Cowboys.
this college rule!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Experience Podcast. Dom and Chris here, and before we begin, we're just a couple of comics here in Tucson, Arizona, trying to make people laugh. We also love sports. And if you could, and if you haven't, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to all our content on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Really drive those numbers up, help us with the algorithm. And if you have suggestions for future episodes, just let us know, and we'll make them happen. So, Chris, who do we got today? We haven't done this sport in a while.
I know. We're talking soccer, and we're talking King Kenny. We got Kenny Dalglish, who is won more league titles than he lost, which is a crazy statistic when you go through all of his years and all of his winning years. He really is a staple for Scottish football.
He's Tom Brady without the evil.
Oh,
that's
my
kind of
God,
what I gathered.
Oh, dude, that's so accurate.
Kenneth Matheson Dalglish, born March 4th, 1951 in Glasgow.
Yep.
I read that his dad was an engineer and grew up loving soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he grew up next to, they moved around Scotland, but he grew up next to that Rangers stadium, I believe.
So in Glasgow, there's two soccer teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's Rangers and it's Celtic. And Celtic has always been the more dominant team, but he grew up. So when he was 14, he moved you could see the Rangers stadium from his house.
Yeah.
So he was very much a Rangers fan. And a lot of, because at this time, there was a lot of talk about this youngster that was looking really good. And a lot of people thought he was going to sign for Rangers.
Which is, your boyhood team. That's who you got to play for, right?
But then Celtic came a-calling and they were like, hey, we're the dominant team. We think you should come and play for us.
It's like the Yankees. Just damn it.
You know what I was thinking? Because we're in Tucson. It's like being a point guard. And U of A is like, hey, you should come play for us. And
Right.
ASU is like, hey, you should come play for us. You grew up in Phoenix. And you're just like, no, I can't do that.
You mean Mike Bibby?
Yes, exactly.
Come on.
Mike Bibby comes to you. He's just like, I got Leitner hanging out.
Sean Elliott's just like, yeah, I guess I'll stay home.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
So
I'm already here.
That's kind of what it was when they signed. So the assistant manager went to his house.
Saw the Ranger stuff. I saw
And
that.
it literally, his house is just plastered with that because his dad, his whole family are Rangers fans. But it's more of the thing of the Celtic team is in a dominant stretch right now, and they have been for 50 years.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of well, they're the better team.
The guy goes into his room and he calls back. He's like, cozy if you're Hannibal Lecter. But no, you go with it, because you got to think, your career's going to, be elongated on this better team. You're going to have better talent around. You might even get to play at an even higher level than the Scottish League.
Yes. So it is very much of, for his career, he was Celtic makes sense. So he signs with Celtic in 1967. First ever pro contract that he signed, and they do what every team essentially does with a young kid is they just loaned him out to Cumbernauld.
Yeah, Cumbernauld United or something?
Yes.
Yes.
So they were a second division team, and he's lighting it up.
It's like he's almost wasting his time from, how dominant he is.
And this is in an era where they weren't pushing teenagers to be in the first team, but he probably should have gotten that first team a lot earlier than he did. But then again, you look at how great Celtic was in that era. It must have been hard for them to be like, I'm going to bring this 18-year-old kid up, that kind of.
No, that totally checked. Because I remember in our Rooney episode, we talked about how old was he when he came up to play. And then but I had read when I was doing the Dalglish, research, I was like, oh, shoot. No, they're really good. Where are they going to put him?
Yes, it was very much like that. So he played 1 year, second division, scored 37 goals. The next year they were like, we want to loan you back out. We think you have more to learn. And he was like, I think I can break through to the first team. And they were like, okay. But then he proceeds to be on the reserve team for 3 years. And that's the thing that people were talking about where just weren't bringing youth players up at the time they should have, because he's dominating on the reserve team.
You think the other guys on the reserve team are like, "Come on, I want to play too."
There was in this reserve team, it's like I think it's like 6 guys that all played together that really became Scotland's core
I read that.
international team, where you're like, if this was 2008 or whatever, those 6 guys would have been promoted in 69, 70.
Immediately.
Not in 73 or whatever.
One thing I found interesting, though, I had read that he tried out for not only West Ham United before Celtic signed him, but Liverpool too. Yep. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But I was just like, oh, really?
So a lot of the time, these youth players will do like a summer travel, and they call them trials, and they try and work them out. And neither team thought he was not like good enough, but like had that potential that they wanted. So he didn't make West Ham, he didn't make Liverpool, and he made that decision to sign with Celtic, which, I mean, if you look at his career, there were no mistakes in that.
No, I wonder if his parents booed him, though.
I'm sure his dad did. I'm sure he did. He's like, son, I love you. But
I love you. Always have.
I always have. You knew where I was going. I thought about watching that just to try and get my shitty Scottish accent, because Mel Gibson's is so bad, it then comes back and is good.
We should have painted our faces blue for this podcast.
God, we should have.
Oh, God. All right, so anyway, 71-72, though, that's his first year on the first team.
That's right.
And, yeah.
I was going to say, so in like 70-71, he scores 23 goals for the reserve team, and now we're starting to like see there's like people being like, this guy should be our striker, or he ends up being like more of like an attacking midfielder or like a false 9 or whatever you want to call that. There's like 12 things for different strikers, but you're right. 71-72, he finally establishes himself in the first team, which he had been getting like, you get like little substitutions in at like the 80th minute, and you play like 10 minutes, and you're like, well, that's just not enough.
No, it's they're just giving him a little taste. He wants the whole meal.
That's right.
Right here.
Scoring his first goal for Celtic on August 14th, 71. Mm-hmm. Celtic goes on to win their 7th. So this is what I mean with how hard it was to break into that team. His first year on the first team, that was when they won their 7th consecutive title. So they just weren't being challenged in the Scottish Prem, and they're still not. Like there were talks, and there has been for years, about Celtic joining the English Premier League, or like them making like a different league with all of these top teams, and Celtic is always in that kind of like talks about like they're better than, or they're almost like too good for the Scottish Premier League.
It's like Alabama during that dominant run.
Exactly. Well, but this is 50, 60 years.
Exactly, right? Oh, shoot. 73-74, they win the double, I had read, which is pretty awesome. Like, it's crazy how, like, they have no competition, though.
No, not in Scotland. And the only team that really pushes them in competition is Rangers. Yeah. But they just aren't at that level. So when Rangers go on and like win a title or like beat them in the Scottish Cup, it just means so much more to those Rangers fans.
Yeah.
His father. But in that 73-74 season, this was, if you ever want to go check out why they had to start cleaning up the game and start like really dishing out red cards.
Oh boy.
He played in back then it was called the European Cup, but it's the Champions League now. They played a semifinal against Atletico Madrid, where 3 Spanish players were given red cards. It is so, they could have given out
30.
6. Yeah, it's so crazy how violent the game used to be, and how like people will like look at soccer in like the 2000s or the 2010, whatever, and they're like, oh, I mean, that's a foul. They're rolling on the ground. They were like hacking dudes' legs off, and you're just like, we got to cut it now, bite down on this. Like it is one of the most violent games. And
Kenny, where'd you get a hand grenade?
He even said it. He was like, that was a disgrace. That was one of the worst performances or worst games that he'd ever played in because of the level of violence.
Isn't that what they did the English did to Pele?
They did it to Pele. They did it to, I mean, But this was a Spanish team.
No, I know.
But you're right. There was like, this is the era of them being like, we all of our stars are getting injured
you could
all of the time.
Just have a team full of goons, essentially.
Yes.
Like hockey.
And in England, Scotland, that was very common. You would have a back line of like ridiculous goon-style guys.
Here comes Vinnie Jones.
That's exactly
taking that morning train.
Oh, my God. Vinnie Jones, I love him.
He grabbed a man's balls.
And twisted. It wasn't just a grab. He grabbed and he twisted.
Oh, God. All righty. So where are we at? 74, 75?
Yes. One another. Oh, no league title. 74, 75, which was the first time in 8 years, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And that was the year that Billy McNeil's actually retires, who was the captain. And you really see Kenny, like, taking this role because he is 25, 26 at this time. So they were like, he's going to become the captain. And in Scottish football, in this era, if you were on Celtic, you would stay with them for pretty much your whole career, especially if you're captain, especially if you're the biggest star essentially for their team. So like, that's what everybody was thinking going forward. Like, this is our guy. He's from Glasgow. And it doesn't kind of end up like that.
No, I mean, he has more success over
Yes.
the next few years. I mean, they're still the most dominant team in the league.
That's right. 75, 76, first year of him being captain, they win 0 trophies.
Yep.
First time in 12 years. And a lot of people were like, we get it. It's a bit of a rebuild. And then next year, they're just right back to where they were.
And he's just a goal-scoring machine throughout all of this.
Yes.
And that's the other thing is you're not stopping him.
No. He is, like you said, he really was not just goal-scoring machine, but he manufactured goals. So you see that later on with Liverpool, where he becomes like partners with a couple of guys, and they go on to score a bunch of goals. And you're like, oh, Kenny only got 6 goals this year. Oh, Ian Rush scored 24.
Yeah, right.
I get it now.
Oh, man. So plays out the next few seasons with Celtic.
I want to say 76, 77.
Oh,
after
international stuff or no?
We'll get into international a little.
We've done an episode on this podcast about it.
I was going to say, because he played in a ton of World Cups, but they pretty much stayed in the group stage the whole time.
I meant the fun ones.
Yeah. But 76, 77, they actually win the double again, and he scores 27 goals in all competitions, which is, for them, pretty much these two, Scottish Cup and League. And people were starting to say maybe he's going to go to a big team.
Yeah.
We see this is when the Italian League was coming in with ridiculous amounts of money. This is when a couple of teams in Spain were coming in. I mean, Madrid was coming in with a bunch of state money. But
bullfighting money.
Oh, my God, the bullfighting money. But the biggest thing that English players or like players from Great Britain tend to stay within their, so like the big move is always to England.
Yeah.
It's not really to Italy. It is now. I mean, like, you see a lot more players switching it up, but back then it really was like, you're going to go play for Manchester United or Liverpool or,
Mm-hmm. So 77 after the season, obviously, he where does he go, Chris? What team does he sign with?
Sorry, I'm a little sweaty.
There you go.
So I actually found this interesting because it's right at the end of the transfer deadline, or right, So August 10th, 77, he signs for Liverpool for a English record of 4,400,000 or whatever. But I think it transferred
440,000.
Thank
pounds.
you. And I think it transferred into 3.7 million pounds, like in today's money.
Which is wow.
Which
man, that's a lot of fucking money in those days for anybody.
I was going to say it was a lot of money in those days, but you look at transfer fees now.
Oh yeah,
that's like the biggest bargain anybody could have ever asked
you
for.
You give that to like a backup goalie now.
Dude, seriously, that's not even a joke. That's like legitimately. But this is what I mean was, and then he scores his first goal, so he gets transferred August 10th. First goal August 13th. That's how quickly they were like, no, you're good.
And he's as good as advertised when he comes on over. He's in the straight up prime of his career too for Liverpool.
I would say this 77 and then 83 are probably his best years.
Yeah.
Because this year he ends up scoring 31 goals in 62 games. The winning goal in the Euro Cup final at Wembley against an Italian team. So this is when Liverpool. So you see Celtic's domination for all these years. This is when Liverpool's domination. And like I said, I think he only missed out because he played for like 20 years.
And he doesn't miss games. He's like never hurt.
Yes, he almost never misses games. And then I think he missed out on winning the league something like 6 times.
Yeah.
Because I think he won he won 13 league titles.
Oh, God.
So he knows what winning is. And going to Liverpool, they are very much like, this is our guy now. The second season, 79-80, he scores 21 goals. They win the league again because they won the league last year.
Oh, God.
80-81, not a great season. He has 8 goals, but they actually won the Euro, which is the Champions League now.
Yeah.
And they won the League Cup, but they finished 5th.
Which is unbelievable. That's like some wild card run, I guess.
Well, it's more of like, because they won the league last year, that's why they're in the Euros.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're finishing 5th, sometimes teams just don't have enough players to focus on the league and all these other.
Oh, okay.
So they were kind of like, hey, we're going to win the Euros. Not the Euros, but the Champions League. And we're going to build for next year.
Yeah, which is smart. Because, damn, do they just get after it the next couple of years.
81-82, 13 goals, won 3rd league title with Liverpool.
That's the year Ian Rush shows up, right?
I think he shows up the next year.
Okay.
Yes, so it's 82-83. He
right.
teams up with Ian Rush, and this is when, like I was saying, like he always has this huge goal tally, and then Liverpool, because back then, now it is very common for just to have like one striker. Mm-hmm. Back then it was like standard, especially in England, to have 2 strikers. So when Ian Rush came in, he kind of took a lot of the goal scoring, but like a lot of the assists, setup, dummy, whatever you want to say, was Kenny. And they were like, this duo is ridiculous.
And he's a selfless player too. That's what I found so interesting, is he just wanted to keep winning. Like, it wasn't a statistical thing for him.
No.
Many people in his position would be.
So when Ian Rush showed up, he had 18 goals. This is the season that I personally think he was the best player. So he got second for the Ballon d'Or, which is like when the Europeans vote for like the best player, but it's almost never the best player. It's kind of like
it's like a popularity contest.
It's almost like the NFL MVP, where they were like, yeah, but 2 years ago, Josh Allen was amazing, so we're going to vote him this year. You know what I mean? Like,
or even the Heisman.
Yes,
too.
yes, exactly.
Like, all that bullshit. Like, or they won't even consider defensive players.
No,
either.
they won't.
No,
yes,
you're right.
Exactly. That's really what that's what the Ballon d'Or kind of is. But then everybody looks at the PFA. He was actually voted Player of the Year for that with 18 goals, another league championship. So he's been at Liverpool for 5 years at this point, and he's won 4 league championships. That's the thing that I think is kind of ridiculous coming in, and why he's like looked at as like the best striker that Liverpool had in the 80s and one of their best players ever.
Oh, for sure. They keep winning titles, and then I saw he pulls a Pete Rose, not with the gambling, but he's player coaching.
So this starts to be like the twilight of his career. And that's what people are saying. So 84-85, he kind of becomes player manager at the end of the season. And in 85, he's not really selecting himself a lot. He only selected himself for 21 league games. And like you said, he was fit so much that it wasn't that he wasn't he was injured or whatever. It was more of like, oh, I want these youth players to kind of come through and play, instead of me.
Yeah, it's like, no, these guys need minutes. I know what to do, like, if someone gets hurt, but, like, I got to know what I have as a coach. They're, like, making me coach.
And then 85-86, Liverpool wins the double. So they won the FA Cup and they won the league. And this year was, like I was saying, with Rangers and Celtic, so there's two teams in Liverpool. It's Everton and Liverpool.
Yeah.
They beat, is that this year? Hold on. Yes. Because he's in the cup final against Everton, and they beat them in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And then their last game, so they're down 1 point to Everton, and they're playing Chelsea, and Everton lose their last game, and Liverpool win 1-0 with a Kenny goal.
Oh, yeah.
So they literally beat Everton in the FA Cup and on the last day of the season. And that's an in-town rival. That's like crazy shit.
Awesomeness.
Yeah.
For them. For them.
Yeah, not Everton. And this is where you start to see him kind of really stop playing. Because, I mean, he's been playing for 15 years at this point. So 86, 87, he has 6 goals in 18 matches. So he only picks himself for 18 matches. He was given priority to youth. 87 to 88. He ends up playing 2 games for Liverpool. They won their 17th title. His last goal was in this season.
Oh, yeah.
And then I do want to get into the international.
Okay.
Because this is towards the end of his playing career. Even though he's player coach still at this point, he is not playing very much at all.
No, and he's the best player on Scotland's teams.
Oh, yes. So that was a big thing with this Celtic core of the reserve team, where they were like not challenging for a World Cup title, but they were like a good international team. So he ends up playing 102 games. He plays, I believe, 4 World Cups.
Yeah.
So it's 74, 78, 82, and I think he's in the 86 team, but I don't think he played because of injury.
Yeah, like he was supposed to be on the team, but he got hurt.
Yes. He ends up playing 102 games for Scotland, which is a record, which will probably be beaten by a midfielder from goddamn Manchester United. He ends up scoring 30 goals, which is tied for the most goals for the Scottish team. It's very interesting to see his end of his career, because Liverpool start to drop off. Yeah. They have this thing called the Hillsborough disaster.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in the Johnny Barnes episode, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it was Liverpool versus Arsenal. There's like a bunch of bad blood happening in the stands, and the stands collapse. I think it killed 97 people.
That's what they said, yeah.
And they said that Kenny Dalglish went to 90% of the funerals.
Which is like, wow.
Well, it shows to his character, where you're like, this guy was not just a great footballer or, manager. He was like a really great person, where he went to 4 in one day. He's still managing this team, but he was like, this is serious. Like it's, and he didn't talk about it because there was like a lot of cover up at the time. And he didn't talk about this until, I believe, 2008.
Oh, shoot.
When he was like, I'm not blaming anybody, but the stewards and the police officers really let it get out of hand, and that's a big reason why it happened.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, I had read that. I'm like, he's like Slash on South Park. He's just everywhere.
He's just everywhere.
He's just everywhere. You kick a soccer ball, and Kenny Dalglish is there. But as far as the international career, wasn't great for Scotland, but they did beat England twice.
Yep.
In 2 big games.
Which they hold that to their hearts with that shit.
Oh, beat him at Wembley.
At Wembley.
In the 77 one, we did our episode on fans behave, but it wasn't they were behaving badly.
No.
Because it wasn't like a negative one like all the others. Everyone just had a fun riot.
Yep. That was back when we had fun riots. Warm beer and fun riots.
Oh, man. Just like everyone like Randy Marsh after Obama won. Only Scottish.
Obama wasn't talking about you.
Kenny Dalglish, you don't need nothing to change.
And this is kind of the end of the player-manager era.
Yeah.
So he ends up retiring 1990. Liverpool move on from him. He managed them for about 5 years, and they're kind of in a decline. And he goes and takes manager position in 91 of Blackburn Rovers.
Uh-huh.
And Blackburn Rovers are in the second division.
We talked about this actually on
But-
another. Yeah.
But this next year, everybody's aware that the Premier League is going to start. So if you win promotion, you're going to be in this new league.
Oh man, they timed this one right. Holy shit.
Yep. And
Leeds didn't.
Leeds was the worst.
Oh God, listen to that episode. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
They really tanked so much money. That's the biggest thing. And
realize what you've done.
Blackburn actually, so the way to get promoted, the two top positions automatically promoted, and then 3 through 6 actually play each other in a playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up beating Leicester City, who we've done
Jeez,
episodes
it's
on.
all these teams, these fringe
I know.
teams.
They beat them 1-0 to gain that promotion to get in the Premier League. And then they get this windfall of money, nothing like it is today, but a lot of money to them to where they can go and build a team. And he actually does that very, very well.
Oh, man, does he do it.
You see his knowledge where you're like, that was awesome. He takes Blackburn first season in the Premier League. So think about, they literally were playing in the lower division. They came up their first year, they got 4th place.
Which is incredible.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
And then the next year,
They sign our buddy. We did an episode on, right? They signed this when they get Alan Shearer.
this is when they get Alan Shearer, and that's why they had the money to sign him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it literally is like that where if they didn't get promoted, not only would he not want to go because they're in the lower division, they wouldn't have the money to sign him.
No.
They were very lucky, Blackburn, in this era, you know. First time in the Premier or in the top division, I guess we'll call it, Blackburn since 66.
Yeah.
They get 4th, like I said, in their first season, and then in their next season, they end up getting 2nd to Manchester United.
Yeah.
And this is when Manchester United starts to like become the force, and Liverpool is still like really dropping off, and they can't like regain their dominance essentially. A lot of people thought Liverpool was going to be like Celtic and just dominate for 50 years, and it just didn't happen.
No, we go into the next season, though, and, oh, boy, things start happening for this team.
So I want to say this. So they...
94, 95?
94, 95. No. So this is... So they get 2nd twice.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
And in the second season, they end up signing Chris Sutton for, I think, a British record. I think it was like $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
But who they were trying to get was Roy Keane, who
I did read that, yeah.
I want to do an episode on him because he's ridiculous. But he is one of the greatest midfielders of this era. And who does he go to but Manchester United? So that was like their glue in the midfield. And Blackburn were like on the verge of signing him. And then Manchester United were like, we're the team you want to go to.
Oh, boy. So what happens this year, Chris, for Blackburn? This is, wow.
They end up getting 2nd in the this is when they go to the FA Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bunch of good youth players. And in the beginning of the season, he kind of goes and clears house and brings in a lot of players at the end of their career. But I imagine for him, it was like, I played this late in my career.
Yeah.
They bring in Ian Rush,
Saw that.
who they know is going to be good. And they have, I mean, to be honest, this was Blackburn's best stretch of like 4 or 5 years when he was coach.
Yeah, definitely. So they, it's incredible to see the success because it follows him everywhere when he's the coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why they call him King Kenny, because he really, not only played for so many league-winning teams, but like took teams like Blackburn from a lower division and made them almost win a league. Because literally just getting second to Manchester United, FA Cup finals. It's very impressive. He takes a little break from coaching. So
it said he was the fourth manager to lead two clubs to top flight like league titles.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, he really, for me in this era, I don't think you could get a better player manager. You know what I mean? Like that, he is the best at that. Next year, they aren't great.
Nope.
Because they had too many veterans. That's just the truth. And they drop off, and he ends up losing his job, and he goes back to Celtic in 2001, but not to coach. He's director of football.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like GM. Mm-hmm. That's really what. It's just same position, different name.
But then he gets involved in coaching.
I was gonna.
Barnes gets axed or something.
Yes,
right?
they Celtic fire their coach and they bring him in as an interim coach.
Yeah.
Which they pretty much are like, he's not going to be our coach for the future. He's going to finish this year out. And he was like, okay.
Some team needs to do that with Belichick. Just to piss off the Don Shula estate.
That would
just
be
to break the record.
awesome.
Interim head coach, uncircumcised penis.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. Yeah, so he takes over coaching for I believe it was like 8 months in Celtic. Goes back to director of football. Actually takes a break at this point to focus on charity.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
Yes.
It's for all intents and purposes, he seems like one of the nicer people we've done a podcast on.
Very much so.
He is the opposite of the Malone zone.
Exactly. Because him and his wife end up setting up a charity for cancer research and funding for patients that have cancer and their families.
Yeah.
And he does this for around a decade. Like puts his full focus in. So his foundation is still going. It's still, awesome, all of that stuff. But then he wants to come back to coaching, and he comes back to Liverpool as a youth coach.
I saw that.
Which I thought was very, very smart from Liverpool. They're back to being very competitive. They have Rafa Benitez as their coach, but Benitez rubs people the wrong way. He's Spanish. He doesn't care about the English press. He's just not loved.
Not a good fit.
Not a good fit. He had great years. I think he coached for like 4 or 5 years. Fantastic coach. But he ends up stepping down. And Dalglish ends up becoming interim manager of Liverpool now.
Uh-huh.
And that only lasts for about 6 months until they're like, we're giving Dalglish, we're giving him like a 3-year contract. They end up winning the League Cup, which was their first.
I saw that.
First trophy in 6 years for Liverpool, which if you look at Liverpool in the 80s,
yep,
they won 6 trophies in 6 years. You know what I mean? So it's not even like it's such a drop off that he ends up winning that first trophy, has a couple of good years. I think they got like 3rd and 5th. But it's just they're not getting to that higher level that they kind of expected. And after I think it was 2.5 years, they end up giving him the axe.
It's a damn shame.
And that was kind of his last foray into coaching.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is one of the greatest soccer players of all. I didn't know who the hell he was. I mean, I remember the name from the Wembley podcast.
Yes.
But, like, man, this dude was like one of the best soccer players of the 20th century. Like, this is unbelievable. And he's a knight. I heard that he was knighted by the British Empire.
Knighted?
Crazy.
When he played for Celtic, he had a goal-scoring record or a ratio of that he would score a goal every other game. That was
Jesus Christ.
So, like, he was one of the most prolific goal scorers that ever played. And for me, he was probably the best striker from 75 to 85. That's what I mean, because in 77, he had an unbelievable year. In 83, he was probably better with Liverpool and Ian Rush at his side.
Yeah.
And not only that, an amazing manager. won a couple of league titles with Liverpool as manager.
Winner.
He was just a winner.
He was at Newcastle United. He had a couple of years there, too.
Oh, yes. Sorry. He went to Newcastle for a couple of years, too. I kind of spaced on that one.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what I mean is he was just a fantastic person in soccer. Yeah, because he ends up going to Newcastle in 97.
Yeah.
That's what, and they got second.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next season they went to an FA Cup final. They went to they beat Barcelona in the what would be Champions League.
Yeah.
So it's just for me, and you said it nail on the head, was because we normally do stuff on people that maybe get a little wild after their career or stuff happens or, like a Leicester City sex party. We don't know. Kenny Dalglish is, for me, just a man of honor and one of the greatest soccer players ever.
It's like not Mormon Ty Detmer.
Yes.
Just a nice guy.
Just a great guy from Glasgow, a Ranger fan growing up, a Celtic legend, a Liverpool legend, and very high regard at Blackburn, Newcastle,
Liverpool.
Anywhere he went. You know what I mean? That's why they call him King Kenny. And yeah, man, I loved this research, and
hell yeah.
We'll see you next time.